Life in the wild is brimming with astonishing variations and dangerous risks. While many know a portion of these normal transformations, from disguise and spines to ruin hunters to webbed feet and streamlined wings for better development. Nonetheless, a few variations are not as normal and may simply be restricted to a specific species. The creatures in this rundown have tracked down unbelievable ways of making do and flourish past issues that appear to be unthinkable or settle to the uninformed eyewitness. 10 Woodpecker brain damage. The work of art. Projectile-like pecking of the woodpecker is ideally suited for punching holes into trees to perch and home in and to handily uncover and cull out scrumptious bugs and their eggs concealed underneath the bark. It's challenging to believe that obscuring extraordinary head pounding of up to 20 times each second, at up to 24 km per hour, 15 miles per hour, wouldn't give them terrible blackouts. On the off chance that not complete cerebrum harm from all the concentrated actual stress. Naturally, however, woodpeckers are impeccably intended to take the fast effects, with a small, light mind weighing 2 grams, 0.07 ounces. It's little to such an extent that it scarcely ingests any of the pecking force, which is circulated through a thick, shock-retaining skull. They even have an exceptional bone, the hyoid bone, which folds over their skull like a safety belt for their cerebrum. The woodpecker's security is amazing to such an extent that sports gear organizations have even put together protective caps and neck collars with respect to its head life systems. 9 Naked mole rat suffocation. Stripped mole rodents are known for their exposed, loose skin and digging complicated burrow frameworks. Digging profound risks suffocation as oxygen once in a while drops definitely from a packed populace or absence of ventilation. Yet, these creatures can endure almost 20 minutes without breathing. While mice kick the bucket without oxygen in around 20 seconds. Unlike any remaining known vertebrates, an exposed mole rodent's synapses don't bite the dust or become harmed from oxygen hardship. Its body eases back to ration energy in a vegetative state, and its digestion becomes like a plant. Glucose consuming relies upon oxygen. Yet fructose can be transformed into energy in an anaerobic pathway. Processing fructose was recently believed by researchers to be just utilized by plants. Yet not any longer with this rough little well-evolved creature. 8. Burning echidnas. Echidnas are a spiky Australian creature that is very sluggish. This implies the creatures can't keep away from the hot landmass seething bushfires. Yet, they don't have to in light of the fact that they have a far better fire step-by-step process for surviving than only running for dear life. Echidnas dig their little bodies down into profound, cool soil and enter a lethargy state, which brings down their internal heat level and metabolism, while they rest. The bushfire above can make the spines on their back soften from the consuming intensity, transforming them into obtuse stubs. However, its spikes might be on singing fire. The echidna doesn't feel the nerveless keratin, which even regrows later on. The neglectful echidna proceeds joyfully resting off to the hellfire seething above prior to awakening once it's finished. They can then arise even days after the fact to again rummage for food. 7. Freezing wood frogs. During winter, the temperatures in Alaska and Canada can tumble to 62 degrees Celsius, 80 degrees Fahrenheit, at chilling, delayed temperatures. Luckily, most frogs make dew by jumping profound submerged to rest in briskness, where their internal heat level never falls underneath freezing. Be that as it may, wood frogs have a vastly improved technique. They cover themselves in leaf litter on the timberland floor for some protection. However, that isn't sufficiently to shield them from the subfreezing temperatures of the north. They really sleep in a frozen state. Disregarding the risks of extreme body harm from freezing blood and cells, notwithstanding seeming as though they've been stuck to death. Albeit the wood frog permits ice to frame on the exterior of its organs and cells, liver delivers an immense measure of glucose spreads into each and every body cell. This ties to water particles and forestalls deadly interior freezing. Since they're ashore as of now, they get a head start on life while spring defrosts them out while the submerged frogs are as yet holding back to warm up. 6. Black widow sibling cannibalism. During winter, the temperatures in Alaska and Canada can tumble to 62 degrees Celsius, 80 degrees Fahrenheit, at chilling, delayed temperatures. Luckily, most frogs make do by jumping profound submerged to rest in briskness, where their internal heat level never falls underneath freezing. Be that as it may, wood frogs have a vastly improved technique. They cover themselves in leaf litter on the timberland floor for some protection. However, that isn't sufficiently to shield them from the subfreezing temperatures of the north. They really sleep in a frozen state. Disregarding the risks of extreme body harm from freezing blood and cells, notwithstanding seeming as though they've been stuck to death. Albeit the wood frog permits ice to frame on the exterior of its organs and cells, liver delivers an immense measure of glucose spreads into each and every body cell. This ties to water particles and forestalls deadly interior freezing. Since they're ashore as of now, they get a head start on life while spring defrosts them out while the submerged frogs are as yet holding back to warm up. 5. Meerkat sun glare. Regardless of its charming dog-like nose, vision is a meerkat's best sense, to such an extent that meerkats are just dynamic when the sun is out. They don't emerge from their tunnels assuming it's excessively shady. Thus, meerkats need to watch out for the sky for falcons and birds of prey. To do this, they need to look directly at the sun for the most keen post, which would bring about agonizing transitory visual impairment for most animals, dark regions around their eyes. What work very much like the eye dark oil ace competitors wear, decrease the sun's brightness so that meerkats might be able to see far and clear with their profoundly evolved sight. So they can recognize flying hunters even in splendid daylight. They have a wide field of view with their long, even understudies, which lets them not squander energy knocking some people's socks off around as they watch for risk. 4. King snake hunting. The cottonmouth, diamondback, and copperhead are fearsome names of venomous North American snakes. Their chomps are deadly to people. And you'd figure any creature that chases them should have mind-blowing expertise to stay away from their teeth and kill them quick. Yet, the king snake doesn't care the slightest bit whenever nibbled with their deadly injections. King snakes are conceived impervious to every one of their toxins, with normal compounds that separate the poisonous synthetics before they can go about their responsibilities. King snakes grow up to 1.8 meters, 6 feet, and are non-venomous snakes that kill with narrowing, effectively governing with their extraordinary ability for killing and eating different snakes from their district. 3. Rooster deafness. A chicken's crow is unbelievably clearly enough to stir the entire homestead with commotions more than 100 decibels, which is probably basically as boisterous as a trimming tool. Individuals who work with trimming tools without ear insurance become hard of hearing as their internal ear hair cells kick the bucket from the din. Notwithstanding, chickens crow however much they might want each day, which left researchers baffled why the ear hairs of chickens weren't harmed by any stretch of the imagination with hearing loss, analyzing the birds' skulls. Scientists found that a delicate sound engrossing tissue covered a portion of the bird's eardrum. Considerably more significantly, they found that a material totally covered a chicken's ear trench at whatever point it shifted its head back to crow, their own regular earplugs. Likewise, birds recover cochlear hair cells. In contrast to warm-blooded animals. 2. Chopped planarians. Being cut and diced typically brings about a merciless demise, yet not for the planarian. This basic sea-going flatworm can be cut into however many pieces as a researcher's heart wants. Just for every one of them to recover into fresh out of the plastic new worms in just 7 days. Their bodies are made of 20% pluripotent undifferentiated organisms, which alongside their straightforwardness, decide the guidelines of recovery in the creature kingdom. Amazingly, even 1/279th of a planarian can regrow into a standard body. With its immature microorganisms forming into each tissue and cell the halfway planarian needs, obviously making them very important subjects of logical examination. 1. Lungfish out of water. Most lost soul would be just about as great as dead, yet the lungfish is an old creature from a long time back. With a high-level breath framework that allows it to get by with no water for a really long time. Suitably named, the lungfish has lungs notwithstanding gills, taking in oxygen from the air very much like land creatures. So during the bright, rainless dry season, while other fish flop around in the tosses of sloppy demise as their lakes and streams dissipate, the lungfish has a natural game plan. They profoundly tunnel themselves heedlessly by taking mud directly through their mouths and pressing it out their gills. When they're at a decent profundity, they twist their lengthened bodies, so their mouth is at the top to inhale, stowed away from hunters and components as they trust that the downpour will get back to make their watery homes. Lungfish structure a defensive casing while underground, from the solidifying bodily fluid their skin secretes, just leaving their mouths uncovered for oxygen. For as long as 4 years. They go through hibernation, living off the energy in their tail muscles.